Om Shankaram Shankaracharya Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashyakrutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Veda Vibhagine Vyomavad Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha. We are studying here Badarayana Vyasa's Shariraka Mimamsa Shastra, the first four sutras of which are called Chatusutri. Popularly, the treatise is known as Brahma Sutra, and we are reading with Shankara's commentary, and we are inside the commentary of the second sutra. But for connection, let us see from the beginning that in the introductory bhashya called Adhyas Bhashya, Shankaracharya has said that though consciousness can have no relation with matter, consciousness represented by I can have no relation with matter represented by you, usually by it, but here you, because to show that they are totally opposite to each other, like darkness and light, because matter has no light, while consciousness has no darkness. And yet, we, due to wrong knowledge, non-discriminative wrong knowledge, we couple up something real with something unreal, and that is our natural defect, natural, it's a statement of fact, natural behavior and experience of ours is a self-contradictory affair. And because it is like that, because it is wrong knowledge, and it tends to make our behavior even like animals. And it is the root cause of every problem in our life. And therefore, we have to culture right knowledge. And that right knowledge is given in all the Upanishads. And those Upanishad sentences, Bhagavan Badarayana Vyas has systematically organized. And so he has called it Shariraka Mimamsa Shastra. That means to analytically find out what is the reality within my body, within my personality. And so the first sutra told us Athato Brahma Jigyasa. And we have seen that by Atha, we mean that we are making a self-attempt at whatever we think is conducive to the realization of reality. And so, in continuation of that, we have come to this Vedanta Sutra. And Atha means because any amount of karma cannot give an infinite result, while on the other hand, right knowledge will release us ever from this, all the problems of life. So, we are studying it. And what we are doing? Athato Brahma Jigyasa, that we get an unstoppable desire to realize our own real nature. That is Jigyasa. And Jigyasa about Brahman, not about Brahman, but of Brahman. So we want to realize Brahman. And what is Brahman? It is the greatest by its very word meaning. And it cannot be greatest unless it is, so many things are there which follow the very word greatest. That it is unchangingly permanent, it is pure, it is awakened, it is free, it is all-knower, it is all-powerful. That follows from the very word greatest. And because it is our reality. So we know it in a way because nobody feels that I do not exist. Everybody feels that I exist. So that itself shows that that reality exists. Now, about that reality, we have a keen desire. We should have, because of these factors, we should have, when we are attempting to go beyond this, we should have a keen, unstoppable desire to realize our own real nature, and also we should do everything to fulfill that desire. And then, what is the exact nature of this Brahman, which we spoke of? So from the first sutra, we remember this much, Avagati Paryantam Jnanam. The object of the verb jigyasa, by its very meaning, is Brahman, and unstoppable desire till we Avagati Paryantam, till we completely know the Brahman, till we completely know it through our experience or realization. But what is this nature of this Brahman? So, in the second sutra we read, Janmadi asya yata. And Janmadi, that is called Tadguna Samvidjnano Bahuri. That means something third, not Janma. Something other than Janma and Adi. But it shows that Janma also is included in that something. And so, what is that something? Janma Sthiti Bhangam. That is creation, preservation, and destruction. Remember, creation, preservation, and destruction is all by Brahman. And Janmadi Asya. Asya means of this. This means everything which is everything which has come near us, not remote. By our senses and other means of knowledge, whatever we experience is called idam. And of that, we want to find the reality. So the method is from known to unknown. We see the world, we experience the world, and this experience must have some cause. Not only the world, but the world of our experience, which includes I, which includes the three factors, I, object, and perception of some type, or inferential knowledge of some type. So all these three factors are included in this. And of this, we want to find what is the cause of its production, preservation, and destruction. And then in the first sutra, it also told that though it is our own self and we know it, but we do not know its exact nature. And hundreds of ideas are floating, and those hundreds of ideas will land us in further trouble. Only the right idea will give us our desired goal. So, in the second, that we have to think of creation first. Unless a thing is created, how can it be preserved or destroyed? And he says that the Shruti Vakyas also say the same thing. The sentence is taken from the Taittiriya Upanishad, where it is said, when Bhrigu asks his father Varuna, please teach me Brahman, he says, think of like this. He gives some data, Annam, Pranam, Mano, Ityadi, and says that, think like this. Yato va imani bhutani jayante, yena jatani jivanti, yat prayantabhi sambhishanti, tad vijigyasasva, tad Brahma. That from which all these beings are born, in which they live when they are present, and into which they dissolve when they are destroyed. Try to know that. That is Brahman. So we know that we must think of the creation first. And we understood that in another sense, that this created world, when we see, we are deluded by the variety. But we must think of that condition or that time when the world was not there, and then it was created. Then only we will find out the truth, proper truth, from known to unknown. So we must think like that. And Asya means Padeshu case of this. Now, what is this word? What is this world that we were reading? Asya jagataha nama rupabhyam vyakrutasya. This world which is manifested by names and forms. The world consists of ever-changing forms, which change every second, every moment it is changing. All the forms are changing every moment. They appear to be real because there is some name associated with that form. And this name is an empty sound. But the whole world is manifested only because there is a name and there is a form. Nam rupa bhyam vakrutasya. Aneka kartru bhoktru sanyuktasya. And in this, there are not one, but many innumerable those who think I do and I enjoy. I do and I experience. I am the doer and I am the experiencer. Like that, innumerable people are there in this world. Pratiniyata desha kala nimitta kriya phalashrayasya. No, any action done in this world gets a result. And there are laws governing time, space, and causes. They will give us definite results. That is the world. Manasa api achintya rachana rupasya. Even by making idea in the mind, we cannot make an idea of what this world is. How it is constructed, what are the rules, what are the constituents. Impossible even in the mind to conceive, to make an idea of what this world is. And such a world he creates. Let us call it he, or the right knowledge will be it. It creates. And it preserves for some time. And it destroys in the end. There is no end. Again he will create, preserve and destroy. Such a cycle. From whom it comes. And so he must be all-knowing and all-powerful. So this is the completion of this sentence. Janmadi asya yata. That means asya jagataha sarvajnat sarvashakte karanat bhavati janma sthiti bhangam tad brahma iti vakya shesha. That means the first sutra told us athato brahma jigyasa. And it is this Brahman which is being defined by the second sutra. Tad Brahma, that is Brahman. That is complete the sentence. Sutras go on taking sentences from the previous sutra. They are very short. So to complete the meaning, Janmadhyasya yata Brahmana. So that Brahman which is already mentioned in the first sutra is dragged down to complete the meaning of the second sutra. Now, though Shankaracharya has said that Vyasadeva only brings the Shruti Vakyas, but unless we are sure of that, there is another series. There was a great scholar, Yaska, and this Yaska is well known for to find out the meanings of the words in Vedanta or Vedas. The Vedic words belong to archaic language, and how to find the meaning. This great work was done by one scholar, Yaska. Now, Yaska has another series starting from Janma. So, Janmadi, we understand, a series starting from Janma. But there is another series starting from Janma, defined by Yaska. So, why not take that? Why take this series of three, Janma, Sthiti, Bhangam? There is another series, and that series has, Shankara has not mentioned here, that series has 6 stages. 6 stages. Something we see is born, then it stays, then it develops, then it transforms, then it decays, and then it is dead. So it is a series of 6 events. Something is born, then it stays, then it develops, then it transforms, then it decays, and it dies. But if we take, let us read, Annesham api bhava vikaranam trishu eva antarbhava iti janma sthiti nashanam grahanam. We are taken here birth, continuation, and death because all these six are included in this. All this change and this and that we can take in the preserving. Janma and death are mentioned by both of them. And in between what happens, it is included in the word staying for some time. So when it stays, all the other things happen. That it stays, it grows, it transforms, it decays. All these four things happen. Only by the mention of the word it stays. So, Annesham api bhava vikarana. Bhava means positive existence. Vikar means changes. Trishu eva antarbhava. Other bhavas also are included in these three bhavas. Iti janma sthiti nashanam grahanam. So we have taken here janma, the meaning that birth, preservation and destruction, because other changes also are included in this. Now what about yaska? Yaska paripatita nam tu jayate asti ityadi nam grahane tesham jagata sthiti kale sambhavyamanatvat मूल कारणात उत्पत्ति स्थिति नाशा जगता न गृहीता स्यु इति आशंकेत तन्मा शंकी इति या उत्पत्ति ब्रह्मण तत्रैव स्थिति प्रलयाचते एव गृह्यन्ते. Now if you take, suppose we take these six defined by Yaska, they happen only when the world exists. Yaska can talk about things of the world. He cannot think of the whole world. So things of the world are born and stay and all that only when the world is created. So, and then, Sthiti Kale Sambhavamanatvat. When the world stays, then all these six can be there. When world is born, there is no other thing born. When the world stays, then other things are born and change and die, and all these things happen only when the world is staying. Then only they are possible. But in that case, we cannot connect them. We are concerned from known to unknown. We want to know Brahman, and we cannot feel any connection with that. If the world is already created and it stays, then and whatever changes happen during this stay, that's how we cannot connect with the original. So the doubt comes that, are it that? If we take that, then we lose our connection with the original Brahman in which we are interested. So to remove this doubt, we are taking only that which Taittiriya Upanishad has mentioned. They are directly, because Upanishad tells, Yato va imani bhutani jayante, yena jatani jivanti, yat pranti abhisamvishanti iti. So, ya utpatti brahmana, that creation which is from Brahman, tatraiva sthiti, and the preservation also is in Brahman. And pralayacha, and destruction means getting dissolved into that very Brahman. Pralaya, getting fully dissolved. First he has said bhanga, destruction. Now destruction means going back to it. Destruction means fully dissolving into Brahman. So there we feel the connection with Brahman, and it is Brahman we want to know. So when we take these three mentioned by Taittiriya Upanishad, then by the way they are mentioned in the Taittiriya Upanishad, we understand that it is the cause of this world. It is the cause of the perseverance of this world. It is the cause of the destruction of this world, which is Brahman. And so, from this known, we are seeking the unknown. By taking other changes and all that, we cannot feel the connection with Brahman. So we have to take these three only, which are directly from Brahman. Even the preservation or sthiti is the Tetri mentioning. We are staying in Brahman and we will go back to Brahman. Destruction, we will be destroyed, means we will be fully dissolved in Brahman. We are created means we have come out of Him. And we stay means we stay in Him. So this must be remembered. And so these three are only taken. Now, an argument is put forward to understand that such a world, which you have said, Achintya Rachana Rupasya, न यथा उक्त विशेषणस्य जगतो यथा उक्त विशेषणम ईश्वरं मुक्त्वा अन्यतः प्रधानात् अचेतनात् अणुभ्यो अभावात् संसारिणा वा उत्पत्त्यादि संभावयितुं शक्यम्. So-called orthodox philosophies or unorthodox philosophies are mentioned here for the cosmology. So we are told Ukta Visheshanasya Jagata. We are told about the Jagat that it is manifested through names and forms. There are so many doers and enjoyers here, and there are certain rules here for the action to produce result, and which is impossible. You want to mentally form an idea about it. And such a world, we want to see who creates, preserves, and destroys. So, Yatha Ukta Vishachanam Ishwaram. And about the creator also I said, by the very meaning of the word Brahman, that you see here is equated clearly Brahman with Ishvara. Brahman, Sagun Brahma is called Ishvara. Because when he maintains, that means he rules over it. Ishvara means one who rules over it. So some philosophers unnecessarily create a difference. There is Ishvara, there is Brahman, and they are the appearances of the same thing as viewed during their activity. When we think of only the Sarvatita, the fully transcendent, we may call it Brahman, but that Brahman himself is immanent and he rules the world. So he is called Ishvara. And so, some people go to the length, I told you one day, that there is no place of Ishvara in Vedanta. Vedanta is fully Ishvara-centric. Only our normal concept of Ishvara is not sufficient. Vedanta tells us this Ishvara which you are conceiving to rule over the world is immanent in the world. It itself appears as the world and it is beyond the world. So the idea of Ishvara is completed, not that Ishvara is denied. And here we see Shankara is using them as synonyms. He was talking about Brahman up till now, and he says that Ishvara which we define. What Ishvara he defined? That the very word Brahman, he said that Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Svabhavam Sarvajnam Sarvashakti Samavhitam. He is the eternal, pure, free, awakened, all knower, all powerful. Such Ishvara only can create, preserve, and destroy this world. He says that न यथा उक्त विषय जगतो तथा उक्त विषय ईश्वर मुक्त्वा. Mukta means other than, leaving him. Anyata, there cannot be any other cause. Now the Sankhya philosophers mention Pradhana. We conceive of Chetan, Purusha and Prakriti. And this Prakriti or nature is called by the Sankhya as Pradhan. They compare like this, there is a king and his minister. and the king only exists, and the minister does all the activity on behalf of the king. So it's called Pradhan. Pradhan means the prime minister, or yes, prime minister, chief minister. So that cannot create the world. An unconscious, achetana, pradhanat, achetana. This pradhan which is unconscious, pradhan which is bereft of consciousness, pradhan which is only material, cannot create such a world which you cannot even think of, because he has to be all-knowing and he has to be all-powerful. So then Anubhyo, there is a atomist philosophy, Vaisheshika philosophy in India. They think that atoms come round together and the world is created. That was the idea of the old science, Newtonian science. So in India, there were atomists who thought that atoms will create the world. Atoms are creating the world. But when we see the nature of the world, and then we understand that other than such a Ishvara, nobody can create the world. So these atoms cannot create the world. How will atoms join with each other unless some conscious being is behind them? Abhava. That is the Buddhist idea. Absence of everything. From that the world has come. So from absence of everything, how the world will come? World has to come from a conscious, permanent creator. World has to be governed by a conscious, permanent reality. The world has to go back into a conscious, permanent reality. So it cannot come from zero. It cannot come from non-existence. It cannot come from absence of any positive entity, abhavat. Sansarinavat, or if that Ishvara is like us, a transmigratory soul does not have all-knowingness. A transmigratory soul does not have all the power. So the world cannot be created by a transmigratory soul. Sansarina va utpatyadi samavayatum shakyam. Utpatyadi. Creation, preservation, and destruction of the world, we cannot even imagine the possibility that the cause is Pradhan, Achetan, or Anu, or Abhav, or transmigratory soul. It must be that all-knowing, all-powerful Ishvara only. Nacha Swavata, Vishishta Desha Kala Nimittanam Iha Upadana. Upadana means the material from which the world is made. It has definite space, time, and causes. In this world, we see definite space, time, and causes make this world. Naturally, it cannot come. There is another philosophy mentioned separately from that sutra, Swabhava. There are people, naturalists. They say it is the nature it creates. Nature means not Prakriti, huh? Nature means the Swabhav, that is the nature of the world that it creates itself. Automatically, you mentioned. Swabhav means automatically. The world automatically gets created. It says automatic cannot happen anything because there is so many rules in this world. There are so many factors combined in this world. So it cannot, how they will gather together automatically? Without a conscious being, they cannot come together automatically. Nacha Svabhavata. Vishishta Deshakala Nimittanam Iha Upadana. Because the Upadan, the material we see, is some specific rules of time, place, and materials. So it cannot come automatically. Now he introduces another small topic. There is another philosophy called the Nyaya, the logician's philosophy. And they give this theory as the Anuman, as the inferential reason, Arthapatti, you may say by logic, that it is necessary that a God should create this world. In English philosophy, it is called teleology. Because we see there is a system in the world, so there has to be somebody behind. This is called Anumana Pramana. So, etat eva anumanam sansari व्यतिरिक्त ईश्वर अस्तित्व आदि साधनम मध्यन्ते ईश्वर कारणिना. Ishvara Karanina. Other than Vedanta also, there are philosophies who accept that Ishvara is the cause. Then they put forward this very logic. Shankaracharya has put forward a logic to make us understand. But some people put forward this logic to prove. That is the difference. Shankaracharya has given us the logic to understand that without such an Ishvara, nobody else can create. Automatically, it cannot be created. This very logic is given by some people as they prove that Ishvara creates. Sansari Vyatirikta, other than this transmigratory soul, there is an Ishvara, Astitva Adi Sadhanam. Ishvara exists and other factors, he has Maya Shakti or whatever you say, he creates from this material. They take these atoms or material is there, and from that Ishvara creates. So they prove the necessity or existence of Ishvara creating this world due to this very argument. Shankara has given the argument for us to understand that Ishvara creates. They put forward this argument to prove that Ishvara creates. That is the difference. Then the sadhak feels, is the sutra not giving the same argument? Janmadhyasya yata, the sutra itself, is it not giving that very argument? That how can this, just like Shankar in explanation gave that argument, so how do you say that the sutrakar has not given this argument? Nanu iyapi tadeva upanyastam janmadi sutre. So the second sutra, Janmadhyasya yata, is it not giving the same argument? No. Shankar says not at all. Remember an important thing. Vedanta Vakya Kusuma Grathanarthatvat Sutrana. This word sutra is aphorisms. But Shankara makes it mean, sutra has another meaning. Sutra means a thread. So he says, what is the purpose of Vyasadeva constructing this sutra? Vyasadeva has not put forward any independent argument. They do not believe, nor Vyasa nor Shankara believe that argument can prove anything. Later on, there is a sutra, Tarka Apratishtanat, logic has no base. So he says, the sutrakar has only provided a thread. Vedanta Vakya Kusuma, the sentences of Upanishads are like flowers. And to make it a garland, Vyasadeva has given us a thread. Meaning is that Vyasadeva has not put forward any argument. He has arranged the sutras in such a way that we get a logical connection. To make us understand the Vedanta Sutras, in what order we should read them, that is what the Vyasadeva has provided. So, the purpose of Vyasadeva is not to give some arguments for the creator. We have given that argument only for us to understand. But Vyasadeva has given that as the Vakya through which he is threading and making a garland. Vedanta Vakya Kusuma, Grathanarthatvat, to thread them, Sutranam. All the sutras are meant only as the thread passing through the flowers of Vedanta. Vedanta Vakyani Sutra Udaharatya Vicharyanti. And that is what we will find throughout the Brahma Sutra. that he takes sentence after sentence of the Upanishads and makes us think about it. Taking sentence after sentence of the Upanishads, he analyzes them, and then he comes to the conclusion that we have to realize Brahman. So he has analytically found out the reality in our bodies by putting forth the sentences of Vedanta in a particular order. Now he gives the important statement. वाक्यार्थ विचारण अध्यवसान निर्वृत्ता ही ब्रह्म अवगती न अनुमानादि प्रमाणांतर निर्वृत्ता. Categorical statement. When we take Vedanta sentences and analyze them, and we come to a definite conclusion, when that process is ever nirvutta, then only we can realize Brahman. We can know Brahman fully well. We can realize Brahman only when we come to a firm conclusion. Firm conclusion is not realization, mind you. But firm conclusion, nirvritta, firm conclusion will lead us to realization of Brahman. Vakyartha vicharana, by Rishi's Vakyas. Rishi Vakyas, when we analyze and come to a definite conclusion, then when this process is completed, we will get the Brahma Avagati. We will get to know or realize Brahman fully. Na anumanadi pramanantara nirvritta. It can never come by logic. Anuman adi praman. You can use other pramanas. Anuman, Upman, Arthapatti, Anupalabdi, Shabda, non-Lokik Shabda, non-Vedic Shabda, they cannot give us realization of Brahman. Totally denied that by logic we can realize Brahman. But logic is used to analyze Vedanta Vakyas and then we'll realize Brahman. So, very bold, clear statement. Vakyartha vicharana adyavasana nirvurtai brahma avagati. He means because he has, Vyasdev has only given the sutras in a definite order, because when we analyze Vakyartha and come to a conclusion, then only it will lead us to Brahman full knowledge. Anumadadi pramanantara nirvritta, not as a conclusion of any indirect means of knowledge. Anumanadi, knowledge is pratyaksha or apratyaksha, paroksha. So anumanadi come in paroksha, indirect. So no indirect praman, means of knowledge, can lead us to Brahmajnana. Clear? Satsutu Vedanta Vakyeshu Jagata Janma Adi Karanavadishu Tad Artha Grahana Dardhyaya Anumanam Api Vedanta Vakya Avirodhi Pramanam Bhavat Na Nivaryate Shrutya Evacha Sahayatvena Tarkasya Abhipretatvat. Then shall we throw out logic? Logic cannot give us Brahman. Then shall we throw out logic? He said, no, no, no. Shruti itself has told us that logic also can be used to support the Vedanta Vakyas. When there are Vedanta Vakyas which are talking about Jagata Janmadi Karanavadishu, we show that Brahman is the creator, preserver and destroyer of the world. There are Vedanta Vakyas showing this, that Artha Grahana Dardhyaya, to make our receptivity of that meaning firm. Dardya means to make it firm. To our understanding of that Vedanta Vakyas will become firm. Anumanam api. Logic also. Vedanta Vakya avirodhi. This independent logic is of no use. If a logic takes you away from Vedanta, throw it away. But Vedanta Vakya avirodhi pramanam. There is logic which supports the Vedanta Vakyas there is logic which is not against the Vedanta Vakyas, such logic also is accepted. Na nivaryate. Vyasdev or Shruti, they have not denied that such logic can be used. Such logic, the help of such logic is allowed. Such logic is not banned, which is supportive of Vedanta, not opposite to Vedanta, as an auxiliary means to make the conviction firm. Such logic also is used. How do you know that? Shrutya evacha sahayatvena tarkasya abhipetatva. The Vedanta itself has given us, shown us that logic can be helpful to this firm understanding. Shruti itself shows us that the logic can be helpful to firmly understand Vedanta Vakyas, not as an independent means. Tathahi. So where has it said so? Shrotavya mantavya iti shrutihi. In the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, the prasanga is that, let us remember the whole prasanga, just as we remembered from Taittiriya Upanishad. Yajnavalkya had two wives, Maitri and Katyayani. And living in the house itself, he got full illumination. And with that illumination, he can't stay in the house. So he decides to go away, become a wandering monk. So he calls his elder wife Maitri and says that, if I divide the property between you and Katyayani, will it be all right? She said, if you give me the whole world full of property, will it give me immortality? He said, no, don't hope for immortality by money. She said, then you are giving up this property. So that which has enabled you to give this property, that knowledge you please give me and go. Then Yajnavalkya gives her knowledge in a very sweet way and tells her that this Brahman which I have told you, Atma, Atman, one's reality has to be realized. Atma vahare drashtavya. This Atman has to be realized. How to realize? Then he says, Shrotavyo, Mantavyo, Nididhyasitavyo, evam vahare drashtavya. Listen to it, think of it, meditate on it, and then you will realize the Atman. So think of it, he says. Listen to it is the main reason. By listening to Vedanta Vakyas, only the consciousness will be aroused. But he says, think about it. So that means he has allowed reason as a supplementary means. And then only you can meditate properly. That is the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Chandogya Upanishad says, Pandita Medhavi Gandharan eva upasampadeta evam eva iha acharyavan purusho veda. There also there is a story. Thieves entered a man's house. They blindfolded him, tied his hands and feet, lifted him, and threw him in a forest. Now he is shouting. Some kind fellow listens to his shouts. He comes and releases hands and feet and releases the eyes he sees. Then he says, I don't know where I have come. How shall I go to my land? He knows the name of his land, Gandhara. I have come from the Gandhar area, but how shall I go there? Then that kind teacher tells him from there itself, you go like this, go like that, go like that. And if you feel doubt, you can ask the people in that neighborhood. So in that way, you can reach. Now, what is the main cause of his reaching? The Guru's teaching. But he has to understand what the Guru has told. Many times it happens, we have seen. They are telling, go like this, take the left. He does not understand which is the first left. And he goes to some other route. So he has to understand it properly. And so, Chandogya says, Medhavi, one should be sufficiently intelligent. Then that thinking has come in between. By Medhavi, that thinking has come in between. Gandharan eva upasampade. He will surely reach his country. Evam eva, like this example, Iha acharevan purusho veda. So when he gets a proper teacher, he gets to know, but he should be Pandita. He should have been well read. He should be intelligent. So the question of thinking is allowed in the Chandogya, or Chandogya also is telling us that this understanding faculty, logic, Anuman Ityadi Praman are useful as a secondary means. The primary means is Guru. In Brihadaranyaka, the primary means is listening to the Guru. Here also primary means is Guru. When you get a Guru, and if you are intelligent enough, you will surely reach your homeland. So, Guru is the main thing. Being intelligent is the second thing. Intelligent is not a worldly scholar here. Huh? To understand what the Guru has told, or to intelligent enough to ask people in between if you lose and to reach your house. So in both places, the primary means is what the Guru is telling or what the Shastras are telling, what the Rishis are telling. But in addition to that, logic also has been shown by Vedas themselves as helpful secondary means. But that logic should be corresponding to what you have heard from the Vedanta, not opposite to it. Purusha Buddhi Sahayam. That means the sadhaka's own buddhi becomes helpful. Atmana darshayati. Atmana means for oneself. For oneself, his own intelligence also is helpful, that the Vedanta is telling us. Now something important. In contrast with the Vedic Karma Kanda, the ritual portion of the Vedas. Na dharma jigyasayam iva shruti adya eva pramanam brahma jigyasayam. Kintu shruti adaya anubhava adaya cha yatha sambhavam iha pramanam anubhava avasanatvat bhuta vastu vishayatvat cha brahma jnanasya. This sentence reminds me of my Guruji, who often repeated one part of this sentence. And he used to put it in the reverse order. He used to say, Bhuta Vastu Vishayatvat, Anuva Avasanatvat cha Brahma Jnanasya. I will come to that, but this immediately reminded me of my teacher. Now, na dharma jigyasayam iva. Dharma jigyasa means karma kanda. To know what is virtue. Shruti adya eva pramana. There we have no reason to work. Only what the Vedas tell us, this will give you moksha, this will give you sarga, that only is our means of knowledge. But not so in Vedanta. Iya Brahma Jigyasayam. So in the matter of keen desire to know Brahman and fulfill that desire, there only Shruti Praman is not there. Let me, Shruti Praman is made, but it is not the only Praman. Kintu, but Shruti Adaya, starting from Shruti and others, Anubhava Adaya cha Yatha Sambhav. Very important statement. Please try to understand. Anubhava Adaya Adi. Adi means Tarka also. Anubhava means direct experience. Yatha Sambhav, as much as possible. What does it mean? It has two meanings. Now, when we say, we in the Ramakrishna Mission, When we talk about Vedanta, essentially we tell that Ramakrishna experienced this. His disciples experienced this. Holy Mother experienced this. Vivekananda experienced this. This is called Yatha Sambhavam. And also, Yatha Sambhavam means I also experience to some extent. I may not experience the whole, but I also experience to some extent. That also should be used. I remember, let me tell you some personal experience. When I was in Rishikesh, there was a brahmachari outside, Raman Murthy, and one another brahmachari, Yadgiri. They used to come and learn Brahma Sutras from me. He used to say, Raman Murthy, there is a great difference between your teaching and the teaching we receive in the Kailashastra. They don't have any available store of experience. So they tell only through logic. But you have a big store of experience, not your own. But this is the big store. We have a galaxy of spiritual people before us. And my Guruji told me one important thing. The meaning of the scriptural words are not available in dictionaries. The meaning of the scriptural words are found only in the experiences of the Mahapurushas. Remember this important statement. And so we should at least, naturally, when we talk of any experience of the Vedanta, we say, this is Sri Ramakrishna talking. And so that Raman Murthy said, that is the big difference. And so your teaching carries more conviction in us. So this is Anubhava Adayacha Yatha Sambhavam. Yatha Sambhavam, two meanings. Whatever you know about people who have experienced, other than the old rishis of the Vedanta. Old rishis of the Vedanta have given us Vedanta. When we try to understand their experiences, we can take recourse of the new rishis also and use their experiences to understand that. And if we have some experience, we should use that also. Important statement by Shankaracharya. Anubhava Adayacha Yatha Sambhavam Iya Pramanam. Iya means in the matter of realizing Brahman, not only Shruti is the Brahman, but other experiences also. Experiences and other things. In that other things, we take that Anuman, etc. Why? Why? So the cause is being told. By Anubhava Avasanatvat Panchami, cause is being told. Brahma Jnanasya, that means the nature of Brahma Jnana is such that. Brahma Jnanasya, because the nature of Brahma Jnana is such that, for understanding, we'll have to take the second part first. That is why my Guru used to take that. Bhuta Vastu Ishayatvat. About Brahman which already exists, about Brahman about which we know that it exists, that Shankara has given in the very beginning, that this Brahman is known or unknown. He says we know, but we do not know it clearly. Unknown thing we would never have felt to know. So here he says that what is Brahma Jnana? Brahma Jnana is about a thing which already exists. Brahma Jnana is a thing which already know. Anubhava avasanatva. But it should end in, culminate in our experience. You understand? We know Brahman. So many people know Brahman. I had a debate some years back at Trichy. Somebody said, if we understand Shankar Siddhanta, we'll get moksha by no other means. Then lakhs of people would do understand Shankar Siddhanta. Nobody becomes mukta, not even that sadhu. So understanding is not enough. Anubhava avasanatvat. It is about a thing already there, already known, but this knowledge should change into experience. That is the very nature of Brahma Jnana. The very nature of Brahma Gyan is such that a thing which exists, a thing which is known theoretically, has to change into our experience. That is the nature of Brahma Gyan. So Brahma Gyan is not like knowing some object of this world. Brahma Gyan is not information. Brahma Gyan is not conviction. Brahma Gyan is changing into experience that which already we know. And this is oft quoted a quotation from Swami Ekanta. He used to say religion is realization. Religion is realization. What we know theoretically has to be made real in our experience. That is realization. Realization is the idea to be converted to reality of our experience. So, Bhuta Vastu Vishayatvat Anuva Avasanatvat Cha Brahmagyanasya. Brahmagyanasya means the very nature of Brahmagyan is such that it is about a thing which exists, which is known, but to be changed into our experience. This coupled with the Avagati Parentam Jnanam of the first sutra is very important. Jigyasa is that desire which will end only in the full knowledge of Brahman. And here, the nature of knowledge of Brahman is such that it is about a thing already existing, but should be changed into, avasan means should culminate into our experiencing that. Now, this very thing he completes. Kartavya hi vishaye na anubhav apeksha asti iti shruti adinam eva pramanyam syat purushadhin atmalabhatvacha kartavyasya. About duty, about karma. We don't expect that we experience it. Shruti adinam. Here adi means Shruti Smriti Purana. Some scripture only is our means of knowledge. And it depends upon what we do. Purushadhina atmalabhatvacha kartavyasya. Atmalabh means not atmana. Kartavya gets some existence. Kartavya has some personality. Kartavya has some existence only when a man does it. It depends upon what a man does. Vedas will tell us, do this yajna, you will go to heaven. No, if I do that yajna, then only that yajna gets an existence. Not by Shruti telling me. In Vedanta, the real man of realization tells me, you are Brahman. That very thing produces the consciousness in me. If my mind is fit, if I am in continuation with that, what has been described, then it results into realization. When a right speaker speaks, Kathopadishad will tell us, Naishat Tarkena Matirapane. Ananya Prokte Gatiratra Nasti. When a sage who has become non-different from Brahman, and he does not feel different from us, and he tells us that you are not different from Brahman. That is, all three meanings come from Ananya Prokte. Gatiratra Nasti, then there is no chance of your going astray. You will realize Brahman. So, it does not depend upon what you do. But karma results into its fruit only when you do that. Purushadhina atmalabhatvacha. That kartavya gets a personality. The kartavya gets its own existence only when you do it. We have crossed our limit. We shall take this again next turn about the difference between kartavya and knowledge. We shall start from here next time. Om Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम तत्सत्। श्री रामकृष्णार्पणमस्तु।